So I've been holding on to these dies rather than just cutting out shapes. I like to try to create a project with them because that gives me a better idea of how these dies function, how they look on a project. Because you can pretty much see what the shapes are once you look at the die. And if the die cuts cleanly, then that's basically what you want from the die. But I also like to try to help people out by showing them these cuts in an actual project. So I ran the butterfly die through my Big Shot. I did a double pass and it didn't cut. I didn't get the best cut. I'm trying to see what didn't cut. So it's not too bad. And my plate, my die cutting plate is a little warped, and so the pressure is not even. And on the Big Shot Plus, it's not one of those machines. The ZECNG machines are not ones where you can adjust your pressure. Some machines have that. I am not investing in any more die cutting machines. I have too many already. I have two that are clean cuts and I have two that have issues, but again, it could be my machine. I'm going to give this another pass and I'm going to run it differently and see what happens. Okay, so I switched my plates around, and this time when I cut, all of the butterflies released from the paper. So on the first cut I had some, and so sometimes if you're cutting with a die and you get a bad cut, switch your plates, if you turn it around, run it the opposite way, or flip it over. If you ran it through cutting with your cutting plate on the bottom and your pressure plate on the top, flip it, put your cutting plate on the top, pressure plate on the bottom, and turn your die as you're running it through. Put it in at an angle, because sometimes that will help, especially with old plates, and my plates have been used a lot. So these are going to release better. They're coming away and I'm getting a clean cut. And for beginners, when you are trying to release your dies, these little tiny holes are release holes. So generally when you press those, you'll be able to lift your die up. So I had to separate my circle dies in order to get them to cut properly because of the warping of my plate. But once I cut them individually, they cut out just fine. So this is this. That's the cut you get. So you can put a sentiment or attach an embellishment to the center. I'm not sure how I'm going to use these in the project. This is the small decorative circle, so that you get this. And then for the large one, now this large cut, normally this would be the front. What I did, I cut the decorative die out, and then I attached just a plain circle die, so that gave me another layer. It just depends on how much border you want to have on your design. So these dies cut well. There's no difficulty in removing the dies, the die cuts. So these are all of our butterflies. So I'm going to try to figure out what kind of project I'm going to do. But I am very, very pleased with the dies. I love this lattice. I really like this. So I think it's going to be excellent on my projects. I decided that I'm going to make this a birthday card.